In this lesson, we are looking at calculating time of events in different time zones. When something happens at a given time, you know that the time is different in different time zones. So we got to one thing that's happening at 8 p.m. in Sydney. It might be 6 p.m. somewhere else. Let's clarify this with some examples. Example 1. Jason lives in Athens, which is 2 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. His grandmother lives in New York, which is 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time. He calls his grandmother at 14:00. Her grandmother wakes up at 8:30. Does he call at a good time? Alright, so if I show Greenwich here, Athens is 2 hours ahead. So Athens is here, that's 2 hours ahead. And New York is 5 hours behind, so I put it to the left. So what's the difference between Athens and New York? You got to, from here to here is 5, and from here to here is 2. You got to add them up. So 5 and 2 makes 7. So 7 hours difference between Athens and New York, and obviously Athens is ahead. Alright, so he is making the call at 14 Athens time. So we got to take away 7 from that to see what time it is in New York. And we end up with 14, take away 7, gives us 7. So it is 7 a.m. when the phone of his grandmother rings. Is it a good time? No, because the grandma is still sleeping. She gets up at 8:30. Alright, so Jason needs to be more careful with time zones. Example 2. Leila flies from Kuala Lumpur, which is 8 hours ahead of Universal Coordinated Time, so +8. That's basically, it means that it is 8 hours ahead of Greenwich. Flying from Kuala Lumpur to Sydney, which is 10 UTC, again 10 hours ahead of Universal Coordinated Time. And the flight departs at 7 a.m. and takes 8 hours. When the airplane lands in Sydney, what time is it in Kuala Lumpur? That's part 1. Part 2, what time is it in Sydney? Again, the first step is for us to find the time difference between Sydney and Kuala Lumpur. Now, if this is Greenwich, Kuala Lumpur is 8 hours ahead, so I put it to the right by 8. And Sydney is even more ahead, so I put 10 here. So from here to here is 10, and from here to here is 8. That means from here to here is 10 minus 8, which is 2. So 10 minus 8 is 2 hours, the time difference between Sydney and Kuala Lumpur. And obviously Sydney is ahead. Okay, the flight leaves at 7 a.m. and it's been flying for 8 hours. So when it reaches Sydney, in Kuala Lumpur will be 8 hours past from 7. So then 7 plus 8 gives us 15. So the time is 15 or 3 p.m. Where? In Kuala Lumpur. Because this is Kuala Lumpur time, and after 8 hours the flight has landed. So 15 is the Kuala Lumpur time, or 3 p.m. And what time is it in Sydney? When it is 15 in Kuala Lumpur, we got to see what time it is in Sydney. Because Sydney is 2 hours ahead, we add 2 to that. 15 plus 2 is 17. Alright, 17 or 5 p.m. is the time when flight lands in Sydney. Thank you for your attention.